What's up, everybody? It's Big Haas here with the humidor. The humidor section is it's gonna be light. I'm gonna talk about the cigar. I'm gonna talk about the drink. I'm gonna give a little bit of what I'm feeling from him, but got more to talk about than that today. But I needed a good stiff drink, and I needed a good strong cigar, so I pulled out the newly released Black Star Line Cigars War Witch Lancero. Now, for cigar people, if you want to get the most flavor from a cigar, you want to get the true flavor from a cigar, you go with the Lancero Vitola because most of your flavoring, most of your profile, most of everything you're going to pull from the cigar comes from the wrapper. And as you can tell, the smaller the ring gauge, the more wrapper you get. Okay. I've reviewed this cigar before in other Vitolas. Um, very, very good. Aganorsa leaf cigar. Um, very peppery, very spicy. And it kind of fits my mood today. I'm spicy today. I'm spicy. I'm uh I'm full of emotion. I'm full of anger a little bit, outrage, whatever you want to call it. And this cigar fits. And also my drink fits. I've got a snoot full of the Uncle Nearest 1884 small batch whiskey, which is a pretty strong one, to go with a very strong cigar. Um, this cigar, it's a medium full from Black Star Line Cigars, but it smokes like a full. So it's about 75-25 medium. I mean, full to medium. You know what I mean? So it's to me, it's more full than medium. But anyway, great cigar just came out. You can find them on www.bslcigars.net. Excuse me. Uh, get out there, get them while they're hot because guess what? They sell out quick. They're gonna sell out quick. I mean, Black Star Lines cigars, the War Witch was sold out for about 2 months, and waiting on product to come in. We have the Lancero Vitola. We also have the Toro, and we have the Robusto. So there's a couple of three different Vitolas to choose from. I chose the Lancero because I wanted to feel all the flavor today, and it was just released. I just got my hands on some the other day, so I love this cigar, and I hope that you go out there to www.bslcigars.net and grab one yourself. Um, but that notwithstanding, that all being said, my thoughts, my emotions, my brain is all over the quote unquote indictment charges or whatever that came down in Louisville today. Um, it says a lot. It says a lot about this country. It says a lot about the state of relations and society. And it says a lot about the old adage, all your skin folk ain't your kinfolk. And every brother ain't necessarily your brother. Um, you know, because the attorney general in Louisville in Kentucky is a black guy. And he actually fixed his mouth in the indictment announcement to say that the shots fired that killed Breonna Taylor were justified. And he basically said, in so many words, when you say that, it's okay to kill a sleeping black woman. It's okay to bust down a door without announcing who you are and fire shots off 32 shots into an apartment or condo. not knowing where people are. You haven't ascertained the scene at all. You just started shooting. And to kill a black woman, to kill anybody, honestly, to kill anybody, it's okay. In Kentucky, obviously, you know, um, and that's shameful. That is shameful because we've seen the dichotomous reaction and the dichotomous uh, wheels of justice in other times. Because you remember, I think it was Minnesota, a young blonde, blue-eyed woman ran up to the back of a police car and smacked the side of the car, and she got shot and got killed. And the policeman was charged, tried, and convicted and sentenced appropriately. Right now, in that situation, she had called 911 or someone had called 911 um, before these policemen arrived on scene. So guess what? They already arrived on the scene when you call 911, kind of in a state of heightened awareness, maybe a little on edge. You know, of course, you're not supposed to be trained that way. You're supposed to be trained to be a little bit more even keeled, I guess. But you still in a 911 call, you're going to be a little bit in a higher state of awareness. And somebody smacking on your car and then jumping up in front of your window, you might do something. But that's not an excuse. That officer acted in the wrong way, and justice, the wheels of justice, flowed swiftly when that blonde, blue-eyed woman was killed. And it just so happened that the officer who shot her was a I think Somali officer of Somalian descent. Now, I'm not going to speculate on what that means as far as the greasing of the wheels of justice, but I might say it didn't hurt. But that's neither here nor there. I want to talk more about Miss Breonna Taylor, her death, and how $12 million doesn't adequately give her justice or closure, because the people who shot her, um, they get to walk around free, and more than that, I believe they're gonna keep their jobs. Those two guys. I think the only one that got fired was the one who missed. Sometimes you got to laugh to keep from crying, because the guy that missed is the one that got in trouble, not the ones that made the shots. And you know what else is ironic? We talk about Black Lives Matter, and you always inevitably hear all lives matter. And my question is, when it comes to the shooting of a sleeping person who had violated no law, had no illegal contraband in the home, um, there's evidence out there that shows that the officers involved were less than honest in their procedures to ascertain the warrant that they used, the no-knock warrant that they used to bust down Miss Taylor's door. So, with all of those factors under consideration, where's the All Lives Matter group? Where are they at? Where are the All Lives Matter people? How many marches have they organized? How many marches have they attended in concert and collaboration with the Black Lives Matter movement and the Black Lives Matters groups in Louisville? All lives matter, right? And in the irony of ironies, guess those bullets that missed and went into the wall and could have gone through and hit the neighbors in the adjoining condo, because they shared a wall. I can't make this up. Uh, those neighbors are white. So the officer who missed was charged with wanton endangerment, endangering the lives of the people on the other side of the wall. So the killing of Breonna Taylor with 6 shots, that was justified. But just endangering the lives of the white neighbors, that'll get you indicted. All lives matter, right? All lives matter. And it's just funny. It's funny. I can't. Sometimes it's hard to put into words the feelings that go through a black person's uh, soul in this country. Because honestly, I love this country. I love it so much. I dedicate myself to making sure that its ills are recognized and corrected. You know what I mean? That is the greatest show of patriotism to me, to love your country enough to say, we got to be better. We're great, but we're not better. We talk about that all the time. We talk about being in a state of constant improvement, whether it be at yourself or at your job. You go to your performance review. Who's really gotten a perfect performance review where they said there's nothing for you to improve upon. Everything's cool. I don't think anybody's ever had one of those. There's always something you can improve on, because the prevailing philosophy is once you think you're perfect, that's when you start slipping. And I think maybe America got to smelling its own draws and thought it was perfect, and it's been slipping. But has it really? Or has it just been doing whatever it's been doing since the inception of this country? And they're just not doing it under the covers anymore. Not at all. Because for a long time, we knew what the world is seeing now. Okay? Marginalized communities and marginalized populations, the black population in particular, we knew about police brutality and police murder and police falsifying reports and police abusing the respect and the honor that they're given just by putting on the uniform, abusing it. And we knew about being targeted. We knew about those things because we knew the origins of the police force. Well, most of us do. Okay? So we knew. But with the advent of technology and camera phones and things like that, now we're seeing it. And then with the election of someone who validated and emboldened those who harbor these feelings to speak publicly, these are the kind of things we see. We have already been warned by the FBI about white supremacists infiltrating law enforcement. I just call that coming home, because that's what it was all about anyway, because it was the slave patrols to go out and catch runaway slaves is how the police force got started. So that's just coming home to me. White supremacists and white separatists and other sorts of white nationalist groups infiltrating the police force. It's not infiltrating, it's just coming back home. But that's what we deal with. And we knew about it. We've known it forever. And we've tried to talk about it through song, through marching, through interviews and things of that nature. But guess what? Deaf ears. So, we have a saying in America that says it takes a village, right? And I think that works to the positive and to the negative. It takes a village to raise a child is the full quote. But it also takes a village to promote tacitly or overtly injustice, to allow it to fester, to allow it to continue. It takes a village. Uh, I forget the state that it's in, but there's a police chief that is under charges for hate crimes, and now he's being investigated for racial discrimination. He's a police chief. It takes a village. It takes that police village to let that man ascend to the position of chief of police, correct? Because I'm sure when he got on the job, people knew who he was, and some people knew who he was, didn't say anything and let it go. Some people knew who he was, approved of it, and recommended him for promotion. Some people knew who he was and openly encouraged him and co-signed his ascent to chief of police. It takes a village. It takes a village to go in there. There's 3 cops serving that warrant. Not one of them thought we should announce ourselves. You know, even if it's as we bust down the door. You know, but maybe right before you bust down the door, especially very early in the morning when you know people are asleep, you might want to bang on the door, yell police, bang on the door, yell police, bang on the door again, yell police, then break down the door. Because if there was illegal contraband in the home, it's the middle of the night. They sleep. You know it. You didn't hear any sounds of activity going on in that home, I bet. It's 4 in the morning. So announce yourself. You already got the element of surprise. So why don't you announce yourself and then break down the door? That way, you break down the door, these people are awake, you serve your warrant, you don't find anything, and Breonna Taylor gets to say, I'm suing y'all for my door. Y'all gonna pay for my door. But she don't get to say a damn thing now. She don't get to say a damn thing now, because guess what? You got the no-knock warrant. And it may have been under false pretext. So you no-knocked that door down. And when the boyfriend, feeling like he was being invaded upon, the home was being invaded upon, did what men do. Did what y'all celebrate men for doing. Protecting the home. All you 2A people out there, all you talk about is protecting your home. You know? Protect your home. Your home is your castle. So, if you hear your door getting broken into in the middle of the night, and you got that thing with you because you're protecting your home, you're prepared to protect your crib, right? What you gonna do? Are you gonna peek your head around and see who it is? Or are you gonna take care of business? Shoot first and ask questions later. I know what I would do. You break down my door and don't announce yourself. See what happens. They just lucky he wasn't a good shot. You know? I mean, it's terrible, the dichotomy in this country. Because if the roles was reversed and Breonna Taylor was white, it was Cindy Taylor and her boyfriend Frank, and these cops was black, and they just bust down the door and start bucking when dude defended his home. I've seen and read and heard with my own ears, y'all defend people for less. I've heard that, but it's silent now. Everybody's on mute. All Lives Matter, on mute. The NRA, on mute. What has the NRA said in defense of this man? In defense of the injustice that those police did? Not a damn thing. And then y'all want to tell us, oh no, you're being too sensitive. You know, you're just looking for it. And you guys keep talking about it. So that's why it's still here. That's why cancer's still here. Because they keep talking about it, right? Nah. It's a shame. It's a shame and a half, the dichotomy that's in this country. And we got people that do this and do this and bury their head in the sand. You know, protecting your home, I guess, only works and stand your ground and castle doctrine. I guess those things only work, as Amanda just commented, for white people. You know, and vigilantes like he who shall not be named that killed Trayvon Martin. I guess does it only matter for them, or does it matter for everybody? You know, because all lives matter. Law and order should be equally applied. You know, but is it? Not really. Not really. So you got to laugh. You got to take a smoke. Sometimes take a drink to keep from crying, to ease the pain. It's a great lighter, isn't it? I just got it. You know? These things happening over and over and over and over and over again in our country. And we have a swath of this nation that calls themselves America's Americans, pretty much. And they go silent in instances like this. Or they rise to the defense of the indefensible. But all lives matter and we're all equal. We you know, that's what they say, right? Right? Is that really true though? You tell me. You tell me it's true. You know? I know that this has not been the most humorous or lighthearted Haas's Humidor, but I had some things to get off my chest and I needed a smoke and I needed a drink. And it's befitting my mood. It's befitting my mood. You know? You just got so much, you know? James Baldwin said it best, and I'm going to paraphrase. He said, and I wish I could imitate his voice because I love the way he spoke. To be a Negro and to be moderately conscious in America is to be in a constant state of rage. And that is so true. Because if you're quote unquote woke or just aware of all of the systemic things that are going on in this country that place unnecessary barriers in your path, there's always a level of anger that you are controlling. You got a bunch of David Banners walking around this country that are in a constant state of rage. Most of us, the great many of us, we control our rage and on our anger and our resentment and our frustration, and we strive for excellence in spite of those unnecessary obstacles. But that doesn't mean we aren't affected by them. That's why we're so predisposed to stress-related ailments. Because of these systemic issues, we're always under a constant state of stress as well. I'm not even safe in my own home, apparently. So, where's All Lives Matter? Where's the NRA? Where is justice? Now, thank y'all for tuning in. You can find us on Twitter at VFU_podcast. You can find us on IG at VFU podcast. That is sans the underscore. So VF like Frank, U podcast, PODCAST. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/VFU podcast. Make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube. If you want to do a Patreon for us and donate to us to help us out, please do so. Every third month, we donate that month's Patreon contributions to a charitable cause like Wounded Warriors, Doctors Without Borders, things like that. Hit that subscribe button, subscribe to our podcast. Thank you for listening to my rambling. I'm sorry if I was a little emotional. I'm sorry if I was a little heavy. It's my very first time being solo on the live stream. And, any feedback is welcome. I don't know if I'm going to heat it or not. I'm going to still say what I say. But any feedback is welcome. And leave us a comment, leave us a rating. And we look forward to hearing from y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in. One love.